Well, our next guest is on the opposite end of the spectrum from Joy Reid, a very credible member of our own Colorado Republican Party, and she's looking to become the chair of it. I had the pleasure of meeting her on Saturday at the annual meeting of the Log Cabin Republicans, where she was a featured speaker along with me. She is Darcy Schoening, and she joins us on Ryan Schuiling Live. Darcy, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
It was so great meeting you on Saturday, and as I said in my presentation, I think it was so important that you were there. You showed up, and that speaks volumes about where the Republican Party is heading and where you intend to take it if you are fortunate enough to become the chair. Where would you take it from here? What would you change? And why was it important for you to attend the Log Cabin Republicans annual meeting?
Sure. So, okay, I go way back with Log Cabin Republicans because I'm close friends with the vice president, but also because, I've got a family member who is LGBTQ, tons of friends. And so it's always been really important to me to embrace Republicans of all backgrounds that just love freedom, that just want to help us, that just want to, have limited government. And those guys at Log Cabin Republicans work so hard, and it's hard to be a gay Republican. Let's be honest; they get stuff thrown at them at the parade. So it's always important to me to show up for the people that show up for us. And I, from here on out with the party, I just want to keep doing what I've been doing, which is, building bridges and identifying where we can flip seats, where we can fundraise. I've been working with donors for a Build Our Benches initiative, which is we're at about $200,000 in funds raised for the 2025 school board elections. So I just want to bring everybody together to do the work that needs to be done to flip Colorado red again.
She is the current director of special initiatives for the Colorado GOP, Darcy Schoening, our guest. A couple of things that you've illuminated to me, Darcy, is that at great pain and personal sacrifice to yourself, you're putting yourself out there. We're talking boots on the ground, knocking doors, doing the work that needs to be done. But you mentioned the Log Cabin Republicans having things thrown at them in the parade. You also casually mentioned, and I think it maybe deserves a little bit more detail, yourself being physically assaulted just trying to do this job of going out and getting the word out.
Oh, yeah, that was outside D11. There was a protest. We were there to support the board in writing a policy against student pronouns. And one of the lefties across the aisle on the stairs just punched me in the face. It was a bigger lady, and it was a little startling. But, at the time, I had to keep going. But the guy next to me, he was in tears. He's like, "You just got punched in the face." And I was like, well, then you know what? I'm doing something right. If they're that angry, then that means, I'm making a dent in their plans.
She can take a punch, and we have to understand that it's going to take more of that, what Darcy's willing to do and what anybody is going to have to be able to do in the chair position of the Colorado Republican Party. You talked about this on Saturday, too, Darcy. There are no illusions. It's an uphill climb here, and we didn't get here overnight, and it probably isn't going to change overnight. But the little things that you're paying particular attention to get us back on the path to winning, they matter, they add up. And where do you think the tipping point will be for our current version of the Republican Party, whether it's the upcoming school board elections or the 2026 midterms? What is your plan for these next 2 years should you ascend to the chair?
Well, the school board elections are going to be critical because the school board elections, first of all, we've got to protect our children, number one. But aside from that, it's going to show, who can we bring together? How do we create an infrastructure and processes and have on-point data to flip seats? So we're going to use the school board elections to do that, and we're going to bring the donors together to raise significant funding for the candidates that really, really need it in those critical seats. But furthermore, those 2025 school board elections are going to show the donors, and they're going to show the unaffiliated what the Republican Party can do when we work together as a united front. And if we can flip some seats in the school board elections and work together as a party to do so, then we're going to have 1,000% more donor confidence rolling into 2026 as well. So it's for so many reasons, the tipping point is going to be these 2025 school board elections.
Darcy Schoening, our guest, one of the candidates for the Colorado Republican Party chair upcoming. Darcy, real quick question as to when this will be decided, how it is decided, who gets to vote on it, and if there are listeners out here who want to help you to get to the chair, how they can do that.
Sure. So the meeting will be the last weekend in March. I'm still not positive of the exact time, but it should be that Saturday or that Sunday morning. And so we've only got 5 weeks left. And the voting members, for those who don't know, it's just the state central committee. So that's the elected county leadership. So county GOP chair, vice chair, secretary, and then bonus members who vote. Oh, and then elected officials, state elected officials can also vote. And so if you would like to help my campaign, we can use all the help that you want to throw at us, whether it's making calls or sending out mailers or texts. But just send me a text or contact me on Twitter. It's Darcy, DARCY, the number 4, and then CO. We're going to need a lot of help in that Build Our Benches initiative to keep the money, coming in and to really solidify that school board and school board races initiative. So, yeah, reach out. We can use all hands on deck, and that's what it's going to take, not only for my race, but to take our school board elections and then our 2026 elections.
Darcy, as we talked about earlier, you are a fighter. You're in the arena. You're doing the work. And I do it in this show and then also online. I know how it gets out there in the social media sphere, et cetera. You don't back down from a fight. You're very combative, and you've had that attitude and that energy kind of at a high level. Would you continue that as chair of the Republican Party, or would you be looking maybe to temper your message a bit?
That's an interesting question. So it's important that we have a leader who's a doer, which I am, but it's also important that we have a leader that's not going to back down and say, oh, well, you know what? The left is calling me a bigot today, so we better change course. We better just totally change course. We can't have that type of weakness. We can't allow ourselves to be browbeaten by censorship and all the other things that the left does. So I would say that there are times where my message is really aggressive. There are even times, look, I'll be humble, where I'll say, Ryan, I could have worded things better. I could have said things better. I could have done things a lot better. But part of being a leader is knowing that you're not always the smartest person in the room, and it takes a team to move mountains. So one of the things that I think is really important is that my message, while it would be the state GOP's message, there would be a team of people kind of putting their eyes on these communications and offering diverse backgrounds that they bring to the party to say, is our messaging on point? How can we do better?
Follow her for more on X at Darcy, the number 4, CO, Darcy Schoening, our guest. One of 2 currently declared candidates, but as we talked about on Saturday, Darcy, there will be more between now and, like you said, the end of March. Appreciate your time today. It was great meeting you on Saturday, and I'm sure we'll have many more conversations going forward.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all you do.
Absolutely. Darcy Schoening right there. Your response, your reaction, 57739. Wrapping it all up after this on Ryan Schuiling Live.